Yuji Itadori and Boruto Uzumaki, two incredibly powerful protagonists of a currently releasing manga, and both possessed by an evil entity that wants to take over their bodies. You would think that this would be a matchup that would go down in the history books, rivaling 2014's obsession with Goku vs Superman. But that might be further from the truth than you think. So today, let's bloodlust them, throw them in a ring, and see who comes out on top. Major spoiler warning for 2 Blue Vortex up to chapter 12 and 264 of JJK. We're gonna start with Yuji, and for no reason, in a completely inconspicuous way, I'm gonna be assuming a highball scenario for all of his statistics, and that he's amped by Black Flashes in the zone buff. For attack potency and durability, he's at the minimum multi-city block level at the time of the Shibuya incident, without the use of Black Flash's amp, or the 2.5 times multiplier to his cursed energy. Think of Black Flash as sort of like landing a crit in a video game. You get a damage increase that procs a temporary power-up. The math isn't all that important, but it's worth mentioning. Then we take his speed, which is a bit trickier to scale, but since we're highballing and assuming that he's in the zone, massively hypersonic plus. Currently he's duking it out with Sukuna's Heian form, and at the very least is on pace. Previously we saw Sukuna react to and neutralize Kashimo's beam attack, which is composed of electromagnetic waves. This is a type of energy when traveling through air, moves at a blinding rate of 300,000 meters per second, which firmly places Sukuna into massively hypersonic plus, and transitively Yuji as well. That's a staggering baseline of statistics, even without mentioning his abilities. There must be no way in hell that Boruto can possibly stand any chance.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Yuji has been getting the Ichigo treatment for quite some time now, unlocking a diverse array of curse techniques that make him not only into a powerhouse, but a Swiss Army knife that is incredibly difficult to kill. Divergent Fist takes all the effort of punching someone twice and packs it all into one neat attack. Black Flash, as explained before, is an incredibly destructive maneuver that will definitely give him the edge in overcoming any defenses that Boruto could possibly have.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which
he of course has unlocked Sukuna's curse techniques, Cleave and Dismantle, while also gaining some proficiency in blood manipulation and the reverse curse technique, offering him insane combat healing and regen hacks, meaning that he is no longer obligated to fight in close quarters, and if Boruto manages to overcome Yuji's incredible speed or powerful abilities, he'll just heal himself up. Right? Now Boruto. Boruto is difficult to judge because we really don't have that many feats for him, and a glaring issue when scaling Naruto characters is that almost every statement from the databooks and even places in the manga references the speed of light, and most of them aren't even that logical. I mean, we're not taking Part 1 Haku moving at light speed as fact, are we? Because that would mean every single bandit and thug that Naruto faced from that point forward would be faster than light. I couldn't live with myself thinking that Ebisu is somehow faster than Sukuna, though that's not really how scaling works, but you get my point. So instead of diving headfirst into that flaming rabbit hole, let's take some feats from various points throughout the Naruto and Boruto series and try and uncover why these characters couldn't possibly scale to the speed of light. Might Guy in 8th Gate was able to bend the fabric of space with the speed and force of his kick. An attack that didn't kill Madara, by the way. Okay, that's sort of a bad start, being able to bend reality with sheer power and speed, but it gets better from here, I'm sure of it. Madara, before absorbing the Jubi, reacted to Tobirama's Flying Thunder God Slash, an attack that is effectively instantaneous. Did I mention that Tobirama attacked him from behind and Madara only had one eye, and that one eye wasn't even a Sharingan? I swear, these characters aren't that fast. Adult Naruto in Kyuubi Chakra mode was able to dodge light beams from Delta, but these aren't actual beams of light though, right? Just chakra, like the Rinnegan's Asura path. Well, no. Delta's eyes are scientific ninja tools that fuel their mechanisms with chakra, and while there's some controversy on whether or not these function as true light beams, it doesn't even really matter. Naruto as a teen point-blank dodged Jubi Madara's Light Fang, a technique said to move at the speed of light. Or even in the Naruto Retsuden, he dodged multiple photon beams in base form. And a rough lowball estimate on how fast any of these techniques would be is roughly 300 million meters per second, putting Naruto squarely at the speed of light, if not faster. Wait, that's not right. I was supposed to be debunking these. Okay, last chance, I swear. Baryon Mode Naruto, a form significantly stronger than Kyuubi Chakra Mode, the transformation Naruto was in when he dodged Madara's light speed attack, was able to completely demolish Ishiki and even catch the black rods that he utilizes. Before this, Naruto was made into a pincushion by this same attack and absolutely ragdolled by Ishiki. So, Baryon Mode is an incredibly significant amp to his speed, power, and durability. Alright, a normal speed feat. Naruto is just catching a really fast projectile that he couldn't before, and it isn't light-based. And just our luck, Boruto has also been attacked by this same jutsu. We'll just use his reaction to it, and we'll have our answer. Yep, that's not good. Even if we try to lowball Kawaki's proficiency with Ishiki's techniques in an attempt to make this feat less impressive, that would be disregarding how Karma works. The Karma Seal downloads every bit of knowledge that the Otsutsuki has gathered into their vessel. Kawaki is Ishiki's vessel, ergo has to scale to Ishiki, to at least some extent. If we discredit Kawaki's proficiency, that would be discrediting the Karma Seal in itself, and ultimately the entire plot of Boruto. So what does this all mean? Well, Boruto, in at least combat speed and attack proficiency, is at Baryon mode Naruto level, which is around speed of light to faster than light, which is really unfortunate for Yuji, even if we take an extreme lowball, which we are. It is possible that his striking strength is a bit lower than these estimates, but I'm not comfortable going any lower than multi-city block level solely due to having limited feats that Boruto has himself performed. Even though he completely demolishes limiter release Code, a character said to be league stronger than Jigen, who previously curb stomped Naruto and Sasuke in a 2v1. Jigen literally kicked through Sasuke's complete body Susanoo and blew its back out.
What did he say?
I mean, what more can I say? Let's move on to his abilities and pray that somewhere on his wiki it states that he's allergic to fists or red hair or something, because it's not looking great for Yuji. Boruto only really has a few techniques that he uses. Flying Thunder God, a technique that allows him to instantaneously travel between marked locations. Rasengan Uzuhiko, a technique that utilizes planetary energy and infuses it into a devastating attack that not only disintegrates targets as powerful as Hidari, a self-aware god tree, but if the target would survive, they would forever be inflicted with a severe form of vertigo, destroying their sense of balance and permanently affecting their motor skills. Oh, and did I mention that even if someone touches Boruto, they are inflicted with the same form of vertigo, making close quarter combat a type of double-edged sword, except you get to punch Boruto and he gets to permanently disable you. Because Boruto still has Karma, which, to give you a Cliff Notes version of, lets him absorb chakra and downloaded Momoshiki's DNA into his genetic code, making Boruto into a 100% Otsutsuki, who are the strongest race of creatures in the entire Naruto verse. Oh yeah, and he can fly too. This is much worse for Yuji than I even imagined. Before we begin, of course we'll be making an energy equivalency, as you kind of have to in these cross-verse battles for any semblance of logic to exist, where cursed energy will be treated as chakra and chakra will be treated as cursed energy, otherwise things get way more complicated than is necessary. So the fight begins, and we clearly need to talk about what Yuji's win cons are, because he's so outmatched that I think without something clever, he's going to be sent straight to the afterlife. And I think I found something that might have a shot at being a true win con for him, because I did the math on the differences in their speed and it's staggering. To give you an understanding of what's actually happening here, let's put Boruto and Yuji on the equator and tell them to run as fast as they possibly can for 10 seconds. Yuji, at massively hypersonic plus, is moving at speeds roughly equal to 3 million meters per second, and in that 10 seconds would travel from his starting place a total of 30 million meters, or 30,000 kilometers, or about this distance, nearly making an entire map around the Earth in just 10 seconds. Boruto, moving at a low estimate of the speed of light, travels at a ridiculous speed of 300 million meters per second, covers a distance in the same 10 seconds, a total of 3 billion meters or 3 million kilometers, and decides, screw it, running around the planet is dumb, and decides to visit the moon and fly back. He makes that decision another 4 times. In the time it took Yuji to travel almost around the Earth just once, Boruto traveled to the moon and back 5 times. This isn't exactly how speed scaling works, but it should give you at least an understanding of the incredibly steep mountain Yuji has to climb if he has any chance at victory here. However, Yuji does sort of have the edge in hand-to-hand combat, at least with the martial arts aspect, if you squint your eyes really hard and forget that Boruto utilizes a sword. But let's assume that Boruto can't cut through Yuji's insane durability with a simple steel sword. This is aided by the fact that Boruto doesn't even use wind or lightning to enhance the cutting power of his blade like Sasuke or Danzo have done in the past. This would force them into a hand-to-hand, bare-knuckle boxing match where Yuji technically has the advantage, but is so outmatched in terms of raw speed and power that he's being ragdolled at speeds that he would have very little ability to react to, and his only saving grace is that potentially Boruto's striking strength isn't powerful enough to land killing blows with just his fists, and instead launches them across the area. So Yuji gets up, heals, and we're back to square one. Yuji of course can't go back into close quarters, so he thinks maybe blood manipulation will work. Well, actually yes it can. This is the potential win con I was talking about earlier, because Karma can't absorb physical matter like blood, much like how Boro's Dark Mist could not be absorbed by Karma earlier in the series, so blood totally works as a potential win con. So Yuji charges up Convergence and uses Piercing Blood, an attack that is said to move so fast that it rivals the speed of sound. Boruto dodges easily and slaps Yuji into the next town over. Cleave and Dismantle? Nope, no physical matter hacks this time, and Boruto just absorbs it using Karma, or dodges it easily and makes Yuji wish that Gege had drawn him with red pants instead. This fight is so one-sided that Yuji's only chance is that he can utilize his extreme combat acumen, take a blow from Boruto, and counterattack while targeting Boruto's soul, and thusly bypassing his durability. But even that's a huge stretch due to how squarely Boruto outmatches him. And that's not even considering the previously double-edged sword of Uzuhiko permanently disabling Yuji with Vertigo. Honestly, Yuji would have to become the protagonist in this battle, put on his plot armor, unlock Sukuna's domain expansion, and use Cleave and Dismantle to target Boruto's soul, all while praying to God in anime that Boruto doesn't just break out of the domain, utilize Flying Thunder God, or even the Karma Spacetime Jutsu and just teleport himself to another dimension. But that's the best case scenario because Yuji has no space-time manipulation himself, so what would really happen is that Yuji would step onto the battlefield, put his fists up, and the next moment he would wake up, trapped in another dimension where he would live out the rest of his days until he died of exposure or starvation. I scoured every forum and wiki page, desperate to make this fight a little bit closer, but Yuji just stands no chance. Even if we lowball every single statistic that Boruto has, we lock him out of space-time jutsu, and we even take his other eye, there is no win con and no world across the multiverse where Yuji possibly stands to Boruto Uzumaki. That's it. I can't take another second of this Yuji disrespect. You know the winner. I'm gonna go reread JJK and try and forget this massacre. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube stuff. It really helps. Peace.